Hello, you lot. Yes, I'm back from my travels in Rotterdam. How are you doing, everyone? It's Middle-Aged Gamer Guy, also known as Mag. It's all good. It's all good. It's good to be back. Haven't seen you lot since Wednesday. A lot's happened. Welcome to Tuesday Night Gaming Chat, where we talk about all the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days or so. Let's see who's in the chat right now. First one was Gozzo. I'm even going to bring the chat on screen. Ta-da! Because now we've got a new little gadget. Gozzo, good evening. Kindred, evening. Actually, for old time's sake, let's give Kindred a shout out, even though he's technically not community member of the month anymore. But as we announce the new one tomorrow night, give him a shout out. So there you go. He was May's community member. I can't believe it's June. It's shocking. And of course, it started pissing it down with rain. So typical British summer weather. There you are. Jenny, good evening. How are you? Dave Johnson, hello. How are you? Great to see you. Flame, good evening. Saying hi. How's it going? Jenny says, hello, gang. How are you? And then Jenny and Dave proceeding to write the word boobies in different ways, especially that way when you used to type it in a calculator and then turn it upside down and think it was hilarious when you were 6 years old. So you two already having a good evening at your own expense. So there you go. iQual, good evening. Good to see you. I don't know why I laughed then when I said that. I think because I'm thinking of boobies. Manic says, hello, everyone. How is everyone's week? I hope the rain hasn't rained on everyone's parade today. No, not at all. I've been busy here writing this show. So I've been all right. Triangle Face, good evening. How are you? Good to see you on your show last night on YouTube. I missed the first 10 minutes. My apologies. Also, what happened at TwitchCon? I know you mentioned it in Discord, but I was in a deep sleep, so never got around to reading it. You can find out about everything that was announced and what happened at TwitchCon and all the things I got up to on tomorrow's show at 8:30. So tune in for that, because we're not going to talk about that, because there's a lot of stuff that's like to do with viewers and moderators and stuff. And not doing that tonight. There you go. Bloody typo. You're doing all right. I did say boobies. Yes, I am 6 years old. Yes, there was an Unreal thing, because it's the start of the summer of Game Fest thing, isn't it? Because so Unreal Engine have put out their showcase. PlayStation have got theirs tomorrow. Then you've got Summer Games Fest. Xbox have got theirs on Sunday. So all the things. We'll probably talk about all of those things on next week's show. We won't be talking about any of them tonight, because that's not what I've got planned. Hogo, good evening. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, where's the last 5 months gone? Don't ask. I have no idea. It's a bit scary. Icon says, if you're going to have to think of something, it might as well be boobies. Yeah. Yeah. I'll explain everything tomorrow about TwitchCon. Don't worry. There you go. Our guest has put his contribution. Thank you for that. No idea. Loads of stuff about Fortnite. Okay, fine. Was that on the Unreal thing or whatever it was? I haven't watched that. I'll probably watch that later. Yeah. There was the tiny. Was it the Tiny Games thing as well last week? I still haven't watched that. That was a 25-minute showcase, but there you go. Anyway, enough of all that. We're not talking about any of that stuff. We can talk about that another time. Let me bring in the Fountain of Knowledge. He's probably been playing games while I've been swanning around Convention Centre. Please welcome the co-host that knows the most. It's the one and only Mr. David Jones.
Evening, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Evening, everyone in chat. Hope you're all doing good.
Good. I think they are. Yes, he says, I'm good, thanks. Been very busy today. Loads of walking and exercise. That sounds
good.
Thoroughly healthy.
Nice to get outside every once in a while.
Yeah, I could really get some exercise. I'm not going to lie. Hello, Danker. Yes, I have literally everything, including links to all in the database we'll create for us. Oh my God, he's going to put everything in Discord. So yeah, if you want to go to any of see the showcases, because ironically, I've come back and I'm scooting off again somewhere else. So I'm going to miss all of Summer Games Fest. I'm literally going to be watching everything on catch up. But there you go. Anyway, how was your weekend, Dave? What you been up to?
Oh, well, it was good. Thanks. Nice. Did a little bit of gaming, not a huge amount, but I did play a little bit more of a GTA 5 because I was did a playthrough, a replay of that before I picked up Doom the other week. I did finish Doom last week.
Mm-hmm.
it didn't really change from what we said about it last week. I just kind of felt it just went on a bit too long and it didn't really change. And oh god, I was bored by the end.
Do you know what? It's funny.
I don't know what I was protecting those people for, who those people were. Maybe I should have read the codexes. I don't really play a Doom game to read. I just want to go in and rip and tear, kill some demons.
Yeah, do you know what? It's funny because there was me thinking I was the only one that was hating on this new Doom game. And then our friends who are going to be at Timeless, the What Culture gaming lads, did a video on why they were massively disappointed with it. And I was like, oh, thank God it's not only me. And they literally said the same things that I did. And it's a good game. It's just very dumbed down from Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. And I know a lot of people, again, we said this last week, not a lot of people loved Doom Eternal, but I did because it was a challenge. This game is not a challenge. It's so dumbed down that even the secrets are shown on the blooming map. And you're like, well, what's the point of that? And there's a story in there that doesn't need a story. As you said, it's okay. I mean, if you're playing it on Game Pass, great, because it's free. Apparently, it's done absolutely abysmally in sales as well, which is not something I wanted to hear. But it's interesting because, as Triangle Faces just said, I've still not tried it yet because I've been playing Expedition 33. Expedition 33, on the other hand, is a game I thought I would absolutely hate and absolutely now adore, and it's shifted over 3 million copies. So well done to Sandcastle and Kepler our friends at Kepler Interactive for doing that, because that's a massive success. So there you go. But yeah, I'm unfortunately I'm all doomed out now. I'm just like, yeah.
No more I wouldn't go back to it. I know it's got some campaign DLC to come at some point, but
well, that'll probably play. Yeah,
I won't. I'll skip it completely.
Okay, maybe you'll hate it more than I am.
Of it. I don't care where the story goes because I don't know who the fuck those people were you're meant to be helping. Yeah.
But see, right, I'm going to just stipulate this because this was brought up as well, saying because the new Doom game is on Game Pass, has it fucked its sales? And the answer is no, because Expedition 33 was on Game Pass and it's managed to shift 3 million copies. And it's on all the same platforms as the new Doom. Doom is just sold badly across all platforms, unfortunately. But anyway, let's stop bashing. We did this last week.
We slagged it off plenty last week. Didn't
It's a 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7. I was going to say my score's gone down a bit more, but it's between the 6 and it's a 6.5 out of 10. It's good. Mm-hmm. It's just not great. It's one of those games you'll play and then you'll forget about. So you'll have fun with it for a few hours that it lasts and then done. Anyway, enough of that. Mate, it was good to see the French are teaching American how to make a good game. Yeah, well, they did a really good job with that Expedition 33. Unless Dave says the word boobies, the show can't go on. Go on then, Dave.
We're going to just have to end it now, mate.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in. We shall see you next week. Bye. No, we're not doing that. Go on then. Now we've depressed everyone. On with the show. Yes.
Yep.
We'll talk about some games. Never really been a fan of the Doom. See, I'm a massive fan of all the Doom games. And it's made me cry. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Let's bring in our amazing guest. This gentleman has been on the show before. He's a fantastic streamer, YouTuber, documentarian, I'm going to say as well, using big words, which are beyond my scope and judgment. And fantastic guy. He's been at Timeless for 2 years, and his quiz that he did last year was probably the busiest thing we had. Like you couldn't even get in the room because there was like literally no standing room only. Like it was just packed. And he will be back again for another year doing it again. Please welcome from Slopes' game room, the one and only Mr. DJ Slope. Hello.
Oh yeah.
Boobies. Yay! How we doing, guys? Yeah, you all right? You all right?
Yeah.
All good.
Doing good. How are you, my friend?
Doing good. I'm doing good. I got my coffee in my Sega cup.
Yay.
So, yeah. I'm doing fine. I'm hearing you guys talk about all these new games you're playing, and Here I am. Well, you know what? Actually, I'll tell a lie. The Switch 2 comes out in like what 2 days.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously going to be all over that when that
Good
comes.
man.
The new Mario Kart. Hopefully, I get it on day of release. Maybe I'll do a full day stream. We'll see. I don't know. And also, I've been working with Capcom recently, so I've been playing that new Capcom Fighting Collection too.
Oh yeah, that's
everyone's
everyone's been saying really good things about that. So
yeah. Well, Power Stone Online, it's like Power Stone 2 is like the best when you have 4 people because you know, and obviously that very rarely happens, but now you actually get to play it online. It's worth it for that alone. It's so good. And just so everyone knows, I am sponsored by Capcom for this one video, but in this stream, I'm not sponsored by Capcom.
No.
They're good. They're good games.
But we'll give them a massive shout out anyway, so it's all good. We talked about that collection on the show 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and it's funny because one of our guests that was on the show, because we had a couple of the people from the Gamer Guide magazine, they said exactly the same thing as you. It was like, don't care about the other games. It's all about Power Stone. That is what's going to shift it, which is amazing.
I've been looking at loads of other people's reviews because obviously I can't review it because I'm getting paid. It's more like a history of like each of the games that are on the thing, sort of like a little mini complete history. And every review I've looked up, everyone's talking about Power Stone as the first thing they talk about because everyone's been waiting for that for so long. So long. 2006 was when we last got a compilation of those games for the PSP. And since then, this is it. It's taken so long.
It's mad.
Well, other than that, though, I've been playing Picross. I play a lot of Picross.
Okay. Jenny says, I didn't believe documentarian was a real word, but I looked it up and it is. See, I do know words, Jenny. It's a great way to thank you. You know, it's one for the week. But yeah, there you go. The Capcom Fighting Collection is a 10 out of 10. Someone said, anyone going to Smith's Midnight? Oh, Danker said this. Sorry. Anyone going to the Smith's Midnight launch for Switch 2 collection? No, mine's being delivered. But what's interesting is I got told today that my copy of Mario Kart is turning up tomorrow.
Oh, it's painful.
But the Switch is turning up on Thursday because we got the Switch from somewhere else because we couldn't get the bundle with that. But at least I'll have the physical copy of the game, which is what I wanted, because I was listening to Tim, who's in chat. One of his guys got a bundle and then realised after buying the bundle it's a digital code only. He's absolutely wounded about it. So he was like, oh, nuts. So I might be getting stuff on different days, but at least it'll turn up.
Do you reckon you're going to pay for that like Switch Tour game where you walk around the Switch controller for like 15 quid?
Yeah,
this is how the Rumble feature works.
When they first started talking about it on that documentary, it was like documentary, like the release video. I was like, okay, this seems cool.
Got a cool little idea, show off the controls,
and then we go, and it's paid. I was sitting there going,
"What?
You fucking what?"
Should have been bundled in, shouldn't it? I don't know. Some people will pay for it because some people probably want to stream it, show it off, but
that they've gone from doing potentially the best bundle they could have done with the Wii. And they bundled it with Wii Sports, which, everyone moans about it now because all your grannies have also got it. But it was a brilliant way to introduce the Wii. And then they went and they released the Switch without 1-2 Switch, even though everyone bought it. That should have been an included game.
It makes no sense. It's quite good that we have got a Mario-esque game as a launch title, because obviously the last Switch, it was the Zelda game.
Which was also on the old system as well.
Yeah, and then obviously the new Mario game came a couple of months after, so I think the fact we got that, that's good.
Still potentially the best game on that system, Odyssey.
Yeah, do you know what? And it's one that I haven't played. I don't own that. It's bizarre. So I need to
play that one. Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, because I was quite late for getting a Switch. If you remember, I was quite late into getting a Switch. Literally only got one a couple of years ago. But then, so it's like I said, they remastered that Kirby game. And I can see that some people are like, well, what's the point of that? But I was like, for me, I never played that. So actually, I probably would get that. But we'll see. But yeah. Anyway, we'll go down a rabbit hole with all that stuff. So next week's show, I'm going to tell you now, is probably going to be very much Switch 2 orientated, because we are going to be talking about all the games that are coming out and all the stuff and all things. So there's hardly any games that are coming out apart that aren't Switch. So there'll be games that we've already talked about, like Cyberpunk and stuff, plus some of the new games and obviously Mario Kart World. So it will be kind of a Switch 2 special amongst the stuff with Summer Games Fest mixed in. So that's kind of what you're going to get next week show. But enough of that. Gentlemen, shall we actually, can we get a shout out for Slopes in the chat? Because there is not only his Twitch channel, and he was literally streaming on Twitch literally just under an hour ago.
Yeah, about half hour ago, yeah.
And there is the main YouTube channel. There is the new channel that he was talking about that he was launching last time.
Look at all those links.
Slopes Adventures and all his socials. So do go check it out. And for anyone who doesn't know you, do you want to just give anyone? They should know you, but if they don't,
you should.
Yeah. Don't you know who I am?
God.
Give him a quick spiel of like some of the stuff that you do.
So primarily there's two types of videos on my channel. We do the complete history of video game franchises. So I'll grab an old video game franchise like Power Stone, which we recently just talked about, Streets of Rage, Outrun, whatever it may be, and I'll look into the complete history of that one franchise. Make like the best type of documentary I can based on that one franchise. Make it the absolute best I can, and they tend to do very, very well. And on the other side of things, I also look at Kickstarter scam projects. I try and find all of the naughty people that run away with your money on crowdfunding sites such as Kickstarter, but other crowdfunding sites also do exist. I do like the site. I really do like Kickstarter, but it's just it's hilarious how many scammers there are out there.
Yeah.
And I cover them. I try and find them and tell their story of how they managed to do it, and hopefully shame them as well.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my what I call my junk food content. Yeah. We all like a little bit of drama, and that's my little injection before I go back into looking into an entire history of one franchise. Like when I'm going to cover every single Pac-Man game. By the end, I'm screaming, "I never want to see that yellow thing again!" And then I have to do a kick scammers, just relax myself before I do it all again. There you go.
I have got to ask, because when we bouncing messages to each other a couple of weeks ago, and you said, you were just finishing off the Asterix video, and you're like, I really enjoyed putting this all together. And your last message to me was, but probably ain't going to get any views because American audience don't know what it is. But it did all right, didn't it?
You know what? So for people out there that don't know how YouTube works, I explained this to my supporters actually. So you I'm looking over on the screen. So when you look in the back end of YouTube in the creator zone, you've got like how many views it's got and how long it's been released. So if I release a video and it's like a day later, it will say out of your last 10 videos, this is where it's ranked in your top 10. When I released Asterix, it went in at like literally number 10. I think it was like literally just above 10 maybe, but it was like doing horrendously. And I'm like, I kind of expected it. No one really in America, people recognize the characters, but they don't really know what Asterix is. It's more of a European thing. I don't have a big non-English speaking audience. And then I realized as I released it, I'm like, it's the bloody Eurovision Song Contest tonight, isn't it? Like my audience is Europe and everyone's watching the bloody Eurovision Song Contest. Damn it. And then as the week went on, it pushed its way through my average views and just went up above and up and up and up. And now it's like, it's rested out now as your videos do after a week or so, but it's like well above average views. I'm like,
sweet.
Awesome.
That's good. Because the message you left was like, I put all this work into this. I'm just not sure this is going to get there.
You never know how it's going to work, because the video I released after it was looking at Star Wars scandals in video games, like the stupid mistakes that the Star Wars video games have made. And that one, I was like, well, this is Star Wars. This is going to do brilliant. But no one watched that compared to Asterix. Because
okay.
What it is, it's like when everyone's covering that topic, you've got a chance of being you got a chance of getting loads and loads of views because everyone's looking for that topic. Yeah. But also, there's so many people talking about that topic. You're just going to be a fart in a fan factory. You're going to be blown away. There's going to be nothing of your content. So there you go.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just the algorithm will never understand.
Yeah, you never know how it's going to work. So the body I didn't expect to do well did very well, and the other one didn't as much. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Such is life. Right, shall we crack on with the show?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our 219th show. With our guest DJ Slope from Slope's Game Room. We're going to be talking about the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days, including To a T, Elden Ring Nightreign, which is not the Elden Ring game you might think it is. And every year, as we always do, F1 25. Also going to be talking about the fact that EA's Black Panther game has been cancelled. And some nice little updates for you Pokemon fans for a game that wasn't very well received on release, but will probably do a lot better. And we'll talk about why a little bit later on. So let's crack on with our first game. And this I got to play. Again, another game. This could be one of these things where I used to go, I played this at WSD. This is always going to be. Now, I played this at New Game Plus at London Games Week or whatever it was back in April. And this is done by the team of Katamari Reroll. So something a little bit different. And this is probably going to make people just be going, what? This is called To a T. Let's have a look at this. This came out last Wednesday on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. Here's the trailer.
My name is Giraffe. I went to a school so I could learn how to cook, because I love to eat and share food. Cooking is so amazing. I think it's really magical. Taste, smell, texture, temperature, gotta be just right. I wake up at 3 every morning to bake the bread for sandwiches. Then I go to my tiny garden to pick the ripest vegetables. I wake up at 3 every morning to bake the bread for sandwiches. Then I go to my tiny garden. I really love my rashes. Don't forget to go to the market to buy the best eggs and cheese. Oh, and also we need some spices, mustard, ham, and mayonnaise. When I get home, I cook. Oh, it's so tasty. Let's not be hasty. This is amazing. I am asleep by 7, dreaming of new recipes. Can't wait to see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, it's not really a game that much about food, ironically. I thought the trailer was a bit odd that they just focused on all that. And good evening, JL. JL said, JL's watching me play it, actually, when I played it. Dave, tell us a little bit more about it. I'll throw my 10 pence worth in, because I've played some of this, because this probably looks very weird to a lot of people. So there you go.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange little game. It's a sort of little whimsical episodic adventure game from the creator of Katamari Damacy. It's sort of taking his sort of, I suppose, strangeness that he brings to games into like this little sort of quaint village where this teenager lives who is just stuck in a permanent T-pose.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, a bit like some of the cyberpunk characters in the launch version of the game. No difference. You just gotta help this little character just navigate through their little village, talking to people they meet there. Like that's interesting giraffe, and playing little mini games. You help them like eat food and do cooking and stuff like that, and they'll eventually find they can get a little power to help them sort of spin around and fly around the village, and I think that helps them deal with some strange object that falls from the sky and probably does something weird to the town. Certainly looks interesting. I don't know if it's one I'd get round to playing, to be quite honest, but it's definitely got a certain sort of charm to it from looking at the trailer.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's landed on Game Pass as well, which helps, because when I tried the demo of it, I was like, it's quite charming because they do drop these funny little songs in, which is like what this drop when they introduce the characters. But it doesn't really feel like a game. It feels more like an interactive cartoon with some of the stuff, and there's like little mini games. But more like the thing it reminded me of was a game that came out quite a few years ago called Manual Samuel, which is the thing about the guy who dies and they have to move his arms and legs to get him to move. This has got some elements like that where you've got to brush the teeth or learn how to put a coat on, like, and you move the controls. But then the rest of it, you're kind of just wandering around and doing the story. So I kind of liked it, but it wasn't something that I was like, after I'd seen all the hype about it, I was a bit like, so what's the point of this game? I did consider it for a future stream, but I've actually canned it. Just because I was like, there's some other stuff there I'd rather play. So I think it was good, but again, it was one of those that was like, I don't really get what he was trying to do with this one. Whereas like things like Katamari Reroll were just like hilarious and just great, but this didn't seem to quite have the same effect. Ellie in Exile, good evening. How are you, lovely? Hope you're doing good. Tim says, were you a fan of Katamari? I have no idea what this will be like to play, but it's it's got that humour. The humour's in there, but it is a very different game. Slopes, your first thoughts on this? And
I mean, that game could be the star of a show called Games I Couldn't Care Less About. No, I mean, I really like Katamari Damacy. I think they're cool. It's just like that game though just seems like a fun little, like, you know when I see my daughter, like, she used to play, she's grown up now, she's 7 now. She used to play games on her tablet, and I'd look at her like, what the hell is it point of this game? You know, that she'd put the ingredient in the pot, she'd stir the pot, and it'd make the cat turn blue. And I'm like, this is just so weird. And I feel like this is that game, but made for adults. At least with Katamari Damacy, it's got the humor, all that sort of thing, but it's there's actually like a sort of arcadey element about it, which makes it replayable. And I mean, hey, maybe it's fine. I just don't have enough time as an adult to even want to try it, honestly.
Yeah. It's one of them. I know Debug, in fact, I should say this, it's been quite highly regarded, but also for the fact that it was the copy of Debug magazine a couple of months ago.
Wow, look at that.
So they did a good write-up on it and stuff.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I love indie games. Big fan. I think they're the people that are pushing the boundaries that all big companies will follow soon when a big thing drops. I just don't think this is that.
No, I think this is the thing that's come with a lot of hype, but then isn't really what people were expecting. I think.
Would it be? Would it have all that hype around it if it wasn't the Katamari guy?
Probably not. This would probably just disappear, I think. But we'll see. It falls into one of those things. I still haven't read that Debug. Read it. It's good. Exclamation Debug. Get your latest copy. I think the new issue drops tomorrow, I believe, from what Dan was telling me. So, for those who haven't seen the show before or wondering what on earth is going on, we technically don't review the games because I'm probably far too underqualified for that. However, I do scour the internet and get a ton of scores, turning it into an average score. You may agree with what we give this, you may not, but it's a bit of fun and you can jump in and guess your scores. Jenny says, looked too childish for me. Needed guns. Yes, it did.
Yeah, more guns.
Needs more guns.
Where's the bass drop?
Yeah. Especially with that. I get up in the morning, make bread.
Oh my God.
Manic says 8 giraffes, daily routine out of 10. He's going to give this. Danka, 7.5. Gozzo, 7.5. Get your scores in now, chat. There's no other scores. Dave, we'll start with you. What do you reckon?
I'll try 7.5.
7.5. Icar says I could see this being Marmite. 6 as an average, maybe. Triangle Face Tim, 7. Flame, 7.
Are we giving this game 7 out of 10?
No, we're going to have a guess, see what it actually got.
Oh, I was about to say, are we all looking at the same trailer? Is that a 7 out of 10?
I don't know. Some people are guessing what the critics are saying.
I would say a 5. I mean, that's what I would do, but I don't know. Maybe, I suppose a 6. Let's go for 6.
Go for a 6. Okay. All right. Anybody else, folks? Get your scores in chat. If you get it right, you'll get a shout out in the chat. This is To a T, which came out on Wednesday on PC, Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and it's on Game Pass. Kindred is saying is 6.5. And I can tell you, Jenny's saying a 5. Yeah, Jenny's going 5. Dave Johnson says 0.5. I can tell you, folks, that this did get quite mixed reviews. None of them hitting real highs. Like the highest scores we did see were about a 7.5. And the lower scores were kind of getting down at a 5.5. But this averaged out at a very sort of okay 6.5 on average.
I was fully aimed at like one type of group. I
think it's more of a kids thing. I played it and I thought it was all right, but compared to some of the other games I tried at that show, didn't really stick out in my mind. So, Kindred, yeah, just you. I think you're the only person that actually guessed that right. Everyone was higher than that, or lower, because that's how games work. So, can we get a shout out for Kindred, please?
Kindred.
Well done. And we'll swiftly move on to our next game, which I know I'm probably going to get the name of this one completely wrong. But this one also came out last Wednesday on PC, PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S, and Nintendo Switch. And this is Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. That'll keep Jenny happy in chat because that had guns and things. Icon says, this looks super cool, but I'm burned out on Metroidvanias. Going to avoid them until Metroid 4. I can't even speak. Metroid Prime 4, I think, he says.
Yeah, that is it, isn't it? It's another week, another Metroidvania. I was actually speaking to one of the managers over at... who's the people that made is it Chucklefish, and they're just saying that they get pitched Metroidvanias all the bloody time. It's the hot topic. It's like when everyone was begging for a new Streets of Rage brawler to come along, and now every other game's a Streets of Rage brawler. You know, like it gets to a point now where it's like, okay, there's so much out there. What's this bringing to the table that others don't? Thankfully, I think this does look quite good. I think it's got like that little yo-yo mechanic. I think it looks pretty decent, but there is so many out there. Honestly, I don't think I'd have the time to play it, but I think it looks quite good. Yeah,
I think this looks pretty good. Again, it's that thing of every year we seem to have a theme. I mean, we can never escape JRPGs. We get hammered with them every week anyway, and we got some tonight. But then we had the whole thing of like the roguelike. That was like and now it is. We seem to have more Metroidvanias than anything we talk about on this show, which is absolutely nuts. But Dave, for people who don't know, tell us a little bit of backstory about this one for us.
Yeah, this one's definitely got a bit of a sort of old school SNES sort of Zelda vibes. Of course, this guy sells a Metroidvania as well. This one, your little character Pip, it's a member of the Pipistrello family, and they basically run this city. But it looks like there's other corporations who are trying to sort of muscle in on on your territory, basically, and you've got to try and stop them with your pretty cool yo-yo skills. So you'll play this sort of Zelda-like type game, learning various yo-yo skills as you go along, help you in combat, help you with puzzle solving. I think it looks pretty nice, actually. Yeah, it definitely reminds me like the stuff I used to play on the SNES and the Mega Drive back in that 16-bit era. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Nice sort of retro graphics to it.
Yeah.
Did I see that Yoko Shimomura
did the soundtrack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an awesome name to have attached. That's like Final Fight legendary, Street Fighter 2 stuff. That might be the reason I want to try out the game, if I'm honest. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those things. If Nintendo come along and done the exact same game with Zelda, and Zelda had some kind of, or Link had some kind of weird yo-yo mechanic of some sort, people would be like frothing at the gash for it. But because it's not Zelda.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try it. There's a lot out there. I may genuinely try this one out. I do like a good Metroidvania.
Yeah, I do as well. This looks really good. Let's see what people reckon the scores might be. Danker, 9. John Unicycle. Good evening, John Unicycle. You were here earlier and I forgot to say hello. Hope you're doing all right. I don't know, an 8. Gozzo says a 9. Manic says 7. JL says a 7. Jenny says an 8, but then quickly changed it to 9 and found your comment frothing at the gash. Hilarious.
Sorry. I've got to get out of this laddie way I'm talking. I'm
no,
on a
it's
live
fine.
stream now.
We've said a lot worse on this show, so don't worry. It's fine.
A bit more PC. I thought it was rather
a little
good.
bit more decorum, please, sir. Flame says 8. Sorry, that's made me laugh. iQuail, 8.5.
I reckon 8's a good one, potentially. It's because I'm more interested in this than the weird giraffe game. Yeah. And also that composer worked on Streets of Rage 4, I've just found out. I didn't realise
nice.
The track for Shiva.
Yeah. So going for 8 out of 10 from Slopes. Dave?
I'll try 8.5.
8.5 going a little higher. Okay. Ellie says, yes, I'm going to steal that phrase, frothing at the gash. There you go. She's happy to use that as well.
I sound like Jay out of the In-Betweeners.
The next event I see her at, she will come up to me and probably say that to my face. So that'd be great. Dave,
Bring
0.5. Yeah, that'd be great because I'll be going, oh, yeah, I remember that. It's better than boobies. I think it is. It's a better saying. Kindred, 8.5 with this one. Okay. Clunge is still the best word I know. Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry.
Gotta love this show, aren't you? So gotta love the viewers as well. So, folks, last chance. This is Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo, which came out last Wednesday on PC, PS4, 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. And Kindred just remind us of Minge Cupboard.
Nice.
You know about that one? Yeah, there was that one as well. This took a turn. Yes, it did. Right up the. So moving on. I can tell you this got 8.5 out of 10 on average on the scores. Really
well done.
Dave, congratulations. Exclamation
Thanks.
Dave in chat. For those who got that right. Kindred got his second one right on the night there. Yeah, good English. iQuail, you got it right as well. We'll get you a shout out. Dave, if you could do iQuail's shout out, that's going to annoy Dave straight away that he's got a shout out iQuail because they're long running feud in chat. It's not a proper feud, don't worry. It's for comedy effect. Then he'll probably
8.5 for a Metroidvania like that. You know, like I'm well up for checking it out now.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out that one.
What's it called again?
It is called Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo.
I'm just going to look up Cursed Yo-Yo out there.
Yeah. I'll send you links later as well, mate. So if
I'm
you need
looking
them.
at it. It's fine. The soundtrack is £8.50. Oh, it's a demo for free. You can just
There you go.
download it. Yeah.
Give it a try. See what you think.
Do I really want to start a Metroidvania 2 days before the Switch 2 comes?
Oh, now there's a thing, isn't it? Danka says, I'm losing my touch with reality. Yeah. It's a good score, that. Should have been a 9 on this. Well, maybe did. It was an average score. So an average score of 8.5 is really, really good. So maybe there are some 9s out there for it. There you go. So, Dave, we've got to give you a shout out. Obviously, people can do exclamation Dave in chat, but we like to do something a bit different for Dave because he isn't a streamer. He's not a content creator. So, Dave, how would you like your shout out for your first correct one?
You can do a bit of spinning on your chair, mate.
Spinning in the chair. You said spinning on the chair, and I was like, don't make me stand up.
Yeah, you got to stand on it this time.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Jesus, I can't stop coughing and laughing. You watch the whole IKEA furniture just go. Here we go. Dave!
I love his completely chilled look as you spin around screaming his name.
Nothing phases this guy. He's the most thing. Please be careful while choking on your laughter. Hey, if there's a way to go out, I'll take it. It's all good. Right. More games coming later, but congratulations to everyone who got that right. 8.5 in the chat for that one. So let's talk a bit of gaming news. This one was kind of landed sort of middle of last week. And it's funny because some people have been getting a bit confused as to what game this is. So I'm going to start from the outset. Do you know what? It's that 1 hour I lost on the plane. It's messed up my speech. I'll blame that. This is not the Captain America Black Panther game that was supposed to come out this year and has now been delayed into next year. This is a different Black Panther game that has been cancelled. This was a game that EA were due to be doing with Cliffhanger Studios. This game was first announced in 2023. We've not heard much about it since. To be honest, we've seen nothing of it. And they put out a statement that not only has the game been completely scrapped, but they are also closing the whole studio. Now, whereas we have had times when this has happened and a lot of people have been laid off, EA did put a statement out and say they wanted to shift focus to their most significant growth opportunities. So in other words, they were saying that they didn't think this was going to make any money. However, they are taking a lot of the employees and sticking them into different projects. So it's not like tons of people, because again, this is another thing that we seem to talk week on week, that certain companies have closed down and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Which is not great. But this seems a little bit better. It's just more that the studio's closed and the game's gone. But it does mean that EA technically still has a free game deal with Marvel Studios. Now, one of them was a game that's been done by Motive, which is the Iron Man game, which we also know very little about. But that means they've still got to deliver on 2 other games. And this isn't a good start if they've had to scrap one of them. So I'll start with Dave and then I'll get Slope's opinion. What are your thoughts on this? Why do you think this has just been canned? Because we've seen this. That Wonder Woman game got scrapped. Other games are getting pushed back and stuff. You've got no sign of that flipping Wolverine Insomniac game that we've only seen for like years.
Yeah. Well, it's probably down to like the budgets on these things where they think they can make enough money back on it. I mean, I think probably everyone's suffering from a bit of superhero fatigue with the whole Marvel universe. It's been going on a whack of time because there's definitely Star Wars fatigue because there's still Star Wars Outlaws, not do as well as Ubisoft were hoping. That would have cost a ton of money to make, plus the amount they would have to kick back to Disney for licensing. So they've perhaps looked at it and thought it isn't going to be good enough. The amount of money we'd have to put in to make it really good. And perhaps the character isn't quite as popular as other ones because they're obviously keeping Iron Man going. We know Iron Man is still pretty popular, but perhaps this one isn't quite as popular as they need it to be to make the money back on what would probably be like 200-300 million budget because it was going to be another sort of big superhero open world action game. We know those sort of games ain't cheap to make at the AAA level. So it's probably something like that, I would have thought. But it just means we kind of get EA just sticking with their franchises that we see year in, year out, which are the big money makers. They're not like most AAA publishers, not really taking too much in the way of risks anymore. No. Sticking with the franchises that make them money, and not much else currently. Like I was saying, did they try and make it a live service game? I've heard they are popular. I bet they thought about it. Probably, yeah. There you go. Slopes, your thoughts on this one?
Well, I'm on the Cliffhanger Games website, and they're still promoting it, so they need to update their website.
Wow.
There's a big picture, the world we're creating, and there's a picture of the Black Panther. No, you're not. What I've always wondered about these companies is, like this game would get made, and then in a couple of years, it just isn't going to be popular anymore. It's not an evergreen game as such. And then I look at companies like .mu that are making a Marvel beat 'em up game coming out, and if it's anything like, and I talk about Streets of Rage on every stream I go on, I really do. But like, if it's anything like their other games like Streets of Rage or that Turtles game that came out a few years ago, Shredder's Revenge, these are games that are constantly sold, like forever. It's the same with like Sega and like the 3D Sonic games. The 3D Sonic games go down, but everyone keeps going back to Sonic Mania. It's like I can't understand why. Look at was it EA that did Scott Pilgrim?
Oh, I don't know.
Or was it Ubisoft? It might be Ubisoft. Actually.
Remember the game? I can't remember who made it.
Yeah, but like, people still go on about that game.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was a 3D game, like a 3D open world game. People wouldn't be talking about it as much unless it's like in laughing matters because it's aged now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind that they wouldn't. Why have they got to go so big and have to do these enormous games, which end up being so expensive to make? I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have played the hell out of this. I enjoyed like the Spider-Man game on the PlayStation 5 and all that other stuff like that. But like these companies need to take a leaf out of the indie guys' books and try and make games that are gonna have a longer lasting appeal. They're cheaper to make and they're gonna get. I mean, how good would a Black Panther beat 'em up be? You know, fucking awesome. That'd be so good. But I don't know. Like, I still would have played this, but I don't know. I think they go too hardcore on these big games, unless it's Sony just pumping in money, it doesn't matter if you don't make your money back on Spider-Man. It's a marketing thing more than anything. I don't think they can get away with these things. It happened with Square Enix. They were expecting to make an absurd amount of money out of those Tomb Raider reboot games. And they ended up having to get rid of the license because it didn't make the money they wanted, even though they were stupidly highly reviewed. They sold very well. Games are just too expensive to make these days like that.
I mean, that's the thing. It's a big thing. John Unusok says, look at Expedition 33. People still talk about it. Very true. But that's one of the biggest success stories of this year at the moment.
That's a pretty reasonable budget and a reasonable size to be making it. So that did turn a profit.
Yeah. So they've done it.
Like AAA ones are just too big and unwieldy now. Too many people.
It does make me worried that, you know, obviously they postponed this other game, which is obviously not EA, which is the Captain America, the Hydra war game, how Captain America and Black Panther meet. I've just got a funny feeling that's just going to get canned next year. I don't know why. There's that thing of, the budget's going to go so big on it. It'll just keeps getting pushed back and then probably just get cut off. But we'll see.
It's like, you know, if there's like a 3D, I mean, they wouldn't have this sort of budget, but if there was like a high budget Terminator game, it'd be good. But will it get the buzz that like that new Terminator 2 2D?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is going to continue to sell well for the foreseeable future.
Exactly. It looks fantastic.
It seems like such an easier, you know, if I'm looking at the bottom line, the money, it just seems like an easier thing to make. Rather than risking so much on these enormous projects. And we need these enormous projects, but there's just so many of them. That some have to fall through the cracks, and unfortunately, Black Panther is one of them.
It's another one that's landed on the superhero graveyard along with Wonder Woman. So there you go.
I'm well up for that Wolverine one. That'd be good.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Just keep my fingers crossed at that.
I want a Marvel game as good as the Arkham games. Like, I still think they've never made a Batman movie even as good as those games.
I agree. Yeah. There you go. The T2 game is one of my most anticipated games. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's at the top of my list. I saw that trailer.
September.
It's the sort of game I imagine I played when I was younger when that film was originally out. Definitely imagine you played it back
before you knew what polygons were. Like that was what you expected the future of games to be like.
Oh
yeah.
Definitely. Well, no doubt we'll talk about that game further near the time when it comes out.
Oh yeah,
see. Let's move on to the obligatory JRPG of the week. As I said, because it happens. This came out last Thursday on PC, PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, and Switch. And it brings a trilogy to the close because, believe it or not, we actually talked about the second one on this very show. I can't remember how many years ago it was. But this is Fuga, Melodies of Steel 3. Let's have a look at the trailer for this. If any of you don't like JRPGs, you've got 3 minutes and 29 seconds to go make a cup of tea or a coffee. Off you pop.
僕はメインを取り戻す。僕がメインを守るんだ。マルト、お前が選ぶのはやはり世界の破滅だ。
This is the story of the children who rejected their fate and overcame despair. 僕たちがカイザーを倒してマルトを助けなければもうこれ以上
みんなを死なせたくない。私はずっとみんなを守る。
これは罠だ。
あの時みたいに飛んでお空を大にする。
Return to the Tyrannus, evolve, and ascend to a new battlefield. Make full use of the new mechanics on the journey for truth. Turn the tides of combat like never before. Dive into thrilling and tactical battles. A child stands ready to perish by the soul cannon. As a last resort, that child will lay down their life so their comrades may forge on.
敵は消滅しました。
こんなはずじゃ。
The new Mega Soul Cannon can eliminate a powerful enemy in a single shot. It can ensure victory at the cost of every child's life.
やれやれ、これまで見た中でも最悪の結果じゃないか。
僕は長男なんだから、これで終わらせる。
Take wing. Soar beyond the cycle of despair.
好きだって古代兵器を召喚せよ。
恨みを晴らしてもらうためにな。
ジュノなのか。僕からの贈り物だ。
Unveil the source of the world's despair.
またな、マルト。お前たちはこのままやるべきことをやればいい。
これは僕が世界を裏切る物語だ。
Enter the battlefield of Fuga, Melodies of Scale 3. On sale May 29th, 2025. Available in deluxe and standard editions.
I kept that running just so we could get the obligatory.
Sorry.
Most interesting thing of the whole trailer. Yeah, most of the chat. Right, there's one person in chat who's looking forward to this game, so that's fine.
Someone must like it because they made 2 previous ones.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know the third one. I love the way it teased us right at the beginning with the age rating thing, and it's like blood, crude humor, violence. Oh, wicked! It's furries with tanks, isn't it? Like I will say, I think the tank designs are like freaking awesome. They've got a bit of a Metal Slug look about them a little bit. They look really cool. And I almost got a bit of an Advance Wars vibe to them as well when they were like one-on-one fighting. But I suppose with Advance Wars, it's more about the map, isn't it? The way that works.
Of course,
and
the strategy to it.
Yeah. People like JRPGs, of course they do. It's just
we could just get bombarded
Just
by
not
them
for everyone, are they? Oh
No.
yeah, we see loads of games in pretty much every genre these days, don't we? They're all oversaturated.
True.
But yeah, this one, third one in the trilogy. This is meant to be like a proper finale where it rounds off the story, which is really quite a nice change because most franchises just seem to want to keep going on and on and on and on and on, never end properly. But yeah, this one's just continuing with I think most of the characters in the previous game. I think the sort of main event in this one is one of those characters gets kidnapped by the Bourbon Empire, who are the enemy in this.
Okay.
And the other kids find the tank, which apparently was meant to have just disappeared at the end of the previous game, but it's reappeared. It's back, come back to help them fight the Empire off and rescue their friend. So the rest of it takes place as like a turn-based RPG. And you do have the option of sacrificing the children on board in the Soul Cannon if you need an automatic win for a particular tough battle.
Wow.
Yeah. Or if you buy the DLCs, it said that at the end you've got 1 free soul you can use. You haven't got to sacrifice anyone. So there you go. Get a bit of extra money if you don't want to sacrifice a furry.
Yeah, pay an extra $50 for it.
You know, like every week, roughly, I'll get a comment on my video. Sometimes more than once a week.
Yeah.
Someone will say that you sound like Larry Bundy Jr. or you sound like Gordon Ramsay, or you sound like Jeremy Clarkson. You sound like Kim Justice. Everyone, like, I think at different parts of the world will look at the British, and I suppose that we do it with like Americans and whatever else, and think we all sound the same. And when I was watching that trailer, I was thinking, did they hire the same 4 Japanese voice actors, like the screamy, the screaming one, then you're that person as well? I was like, and every single JRPG game, like every game, do they really hire these same 4 people? Because man, they are never out of work. Like,
yeah. Do you know what? Very quick story, because we are going to talk timeless a little bit later on. But I remember Slopes turning around to me last year after his DJ set. This guy was coming up to him and talking to him. And he just finished DJ set, and you turned around to me, didn't you? And said, "This guy thinks I'm Larry Bundy Jr."
Yes, yeah. I get it all the time, because I was chatting away. He was, I really like your videos, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, cheers, man. What you more into, like the kick scammers or the complete histories? I always try and so I know what to talk to him about. And he was, oh, the kick scammer stuff, I really like that. I'm like, oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much. And then as it went on, then he started talking about Larry's videos, and I'm like, I used to put kick scammer videos on Larry's channel, didn't I? Yeah. He thinks I'm fucking Larry Bundy Jr.
The fact you turned around to me and said that, and then the guy still talked to you, you turned around and carried on the conversation. It was like he wasn't even aware that you said that to me. I thought it was great.
You know, that typical sitcom joke where like the actor's like at his new job and they've been calling him the wrong name for years. It's too late to mention it now. It got to that point in the conversation. I can't, like, after 3 or 4 minutes of talking to me, say, I'm not who you think I am.
Yeah. It's just as if you turned to the camera and said it and then talked to the audience and then turned back. But, oh, that was funny. I had to bring that up because you just reminded me of that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. It's fine. I used to edit and sometimes scripts for Larry. So I can see the crossover there.
Yeah.
So it's still a compliment.
Yeah. It's all good. He probably made his day. He hasn't got a clue who he spoke to.
I met Larry Bundy Jr. He's like, I didn't go to that convention. Yeah, you did. I spoke to you. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Not my thing in the slightest. I think they are 3 games deep. I'm going to aim a bit higher. Mighty 6 saying 7. LeBray said, everyone, hello, by the way, LeBray, for being here. Everyone is Larry Bundy Jr. unless proven otherwise. There you go. I thought we don't mention Larry Bundy Jr. I don't know. It's like Fight Club.
We don't talk about Larry, no.
Somewhere Larry has to deal with someone thinking he slopes.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So scores-wise, let's see what can we get scores-wise.
I actually think that would score quite highly, personally. It was very nice artwork. I'm sure if you like JRPGs, I mean, it had the screamy voice actors. Yeah. Like, what more do these JRPG people want? And it's the 3rd in the game. I'd be very surprised if they messed it up at this point. I'd almost be willing to say a 9, but 8.5. Let's say 8.5.
8.5. All right, Dave. What say you?
I'm going to try an 8.
Okay, going for an 8. Let's sort of see what chat was saying. Dave Johnson, keeping to a theme, 0.5. I like your style. Manic, 6. Drawn Unicycle, 7. Danker, 8. LeBraze, I didn't see it, 5. She missed the trailer, bless. Gozzo, 8. Flame, 6.5. Tell you what, if I ever meet him, I'll say, oh my God, are you that Slopes guy to balance the universe?
Please, it would make my day. I mean, it's never going to happen. The man doesn't leave his house, but like, man, that would be so freaking awesome.
Do it, and then let us know. Thank you, LeBraze. LeBraze is now breaking into Larry Bundy Jr.'s house together. Right, last chance.
Than the last time I saw you. Sorry, carry on.
Last chance, folks. Get your scores in. This is Fuga, Melodies of Steel 3, which came out last Thursday on PC, PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, and Nintendo Switch. And if there are no more scores, I can tell you that this, on average, got a 7.5.
All right.
7.5. So
not too bad.
Place, yeah. Number close. Kindred said 8, just as I put the button. Is anyone did say 7.5? Do you know what? I don't think anyone did.
Dun dun dun.
So did no one get that right? That's the first one tonight that no one's got. But there you go. All right, no shout outs. Let's just get a shout out for our guest anyway. Let's just do some random shout outs. Why not? Because we got
Dave DJ Johnson. This one shouts out to you. I sees ya.
So mention one more time. I'm replacing Slopes on the talk show with a sock puppet. We'll probably still mention him. Let's give.
We're talking about shout outs. He probably thought he was the biggest DJ Slopes Game Room fan. If I'm like, he's going around with a big Slopes Game Room hat.
Oh, man. Okay. Right. Well, at least we're going to move on to something a bit different. And this is something definitely a bit different. This is a bunch of YouTubers who I have seen who take the mick out of games in different ways, especially NPCs in certain games. And they brought out their first game in conjunction with Team 17. And they decided to bring out a game called Nice Day for Fishing. This came out last Thursday on PC, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. Let's have a look at this.
Morning. Hey, Balin. Nice day for fishing, ain't it? Yeah, Balin, it's a nice day for fishing. Ah, hello, adventure.
Yeah. Step. Accept.
The world needs you, adventurer. Anyway,
Good luck with that, adventurer. Hold away!
if you can chop down 5 trees in the nearby forest, I'll give you 3 gold. Well, back to it. This tree ain't gonna chop itself down.
You know what's really good about these mini games? They're not tedious. They're just really fun. This is a fun mechanic. This is really fun.
Nice day for fishing, ain't it?
Hey! Finally, we've got a fish. Can I go now?
Congratulations, adventurer. You caught a fish. If you didn't know, our very first video game, Nice Day for Fishing, is out now.
It's out right now!
Now!
It's a cool pixel RPG fishing game set in the world of Azeroth.
NiceDayForFishing.net, NiceDayForFishing.net, NiceDayForFishing.net.
Go check it out. It's available right now!
Right now!
Bloody hell, Team 17.
Yeah, Team 17 published just one and backed it. I regularly, as Dave said, I regularly see these guys on my Insta or TikTok feed, and they basically take the mick out of, what happens with NPCs in games and stuff. They're actually very good at what they do. Are they Australian? I believe so. And now they brought out a game which I didn't realise until literally this week. So Dave, tell us a little bit more about this one. I think the people in the video probably explained a lot of it, but yeah.
Well, this is meant to be one of those like epic fantasy adventures, but instead of your sort of big strong warriors trying to save the world, your little background NPC fisherman somehow gets the call to be the hero of a particular tale, and he's got to use his fishing skills to save the kingdom from collapse. Basically, looks all right from what I can tell. It's got a fun little bit of humour from those guys in there. One of the trailer I was watching, you can see one of the little other NPCs wandering around saying like "shut the fuck up, noob" to another character. It's got some silly little bits in it like that, but it looks quite a nice sort of pixel art RPG type game. Probably be amusing to play for a couple of hours.
Yeah,
looks all right to me.
Yeah, if it's got humour in it, because some RPGs don't have any humour, so it might be good. Might be all right. Good evening, Queeky. How you doing? He says, hey. Don't even know what game it was. Just came in at the end of the clip. Don't worry. We're talking about a game called A Nice Day for Fishing. So there you go. Slopes, your thoughts on this one?
I thought it looked quite good. I mean, it looked all right. I've got faith in Team 17 in backing good projects. So I see it as like, go back, get your fishing rod better, go back, go forward, go back, just looping. And those sort of games are bloody addictive. It looked all right. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say on it. It looks all right.
All right. We've got a couple of scores in the chat already, so let's have a look. Manic saying 7 8-bit adventures out of 10. Danker 7. Gozzo 7. Dave Johnson 7.5. Queeky, even though you didn't see the trailer, 6.5. Get your scores in. Yeah, hello. The couch, i.e. Mr. Dan from Debug Magazine. How you doing, fella? Didn't Team 17 announce they were changing their name a while back? And then didn't. Yes, I remember this. There was a whole big thing that they were changing, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, nothing. And then this comes out and it's like they're still called Team 17. I don't know what happened there because everyone was in uproar going, why are you changing your bloody name? You've had the name for donkey's years. LeBraze 8. Flame 7. I hope you're well, Dan, by the way. There you go. Let's go with, I'm going to start with Dave. Did you give a score?
I did not.
No, let's start with you. Let's see what this time round. Let's go.
Let's try a 7.
Okay, going for a 7. Slopes?
I'll go a bit higher, maybe an 8.
Okay, going for an 8. Was it the beginning of April? Yeah, I did wonder if it was a thing, but it wasn't because it was quite a while back. So, but I do remember that people kicking off about that. They are changing their name to Team 17.5. I guess it's very difficult to change the name from Team 17. They'll probably end up changing the name to Team 18. Oh, dear God, all the jokes are going to start coming out now. 7.5 from Kindred. iQuell, 7.5. Legendary, 7.5. Anybody else, folks? Last chance. This is A Nice Day for Fishing, which came out last Thursday on PC, PS5, and Switch. And if there is no one else, I can tell you that this, and the mods are going to be busy, got a 7.5.
There it is.
There you go. 7.5. So definitely worth checking out if you like the look of that one. So go get it now. Congratulations to JL, who got that right. iQuail, Kindred. Who else got it? Dave Johnson himself got it right. So iQuail, if you could return the favour, shout him out. A lot of people went for 7 and just missed out. But well done, everyone. And I'm going to say this now, just like when we're putting the links in for our amazing guest tonight. Also, do go follow the people that are getting these questions right. They come and watch this show week in, week out. We wouldn't be at 219 shows without you. So do give them a follow and go give them some support as well, because we greatly appreciate it. And while those shout outs are going on, let's do the pluggy plug thing where we talk about Timeless. So I'm going to hit a button and then something magical is going to happen. Let's all see this thing. Let's have a look at this. Hi, I'm Middle-Aged Gamer Guy, and I'm very excited to announce that Timeless 2025 is coming to Liverpool here at the Cairns Brewery. Yes, we are moments away, well, 2.5 months to be exact, from that thing that drives me round the bend, but we always like to put on. Not much Norwich representation, says Dan. There's plenty of people from Norwich going. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Well, Ashens is from Norwich, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. But so you'll see. But yes, tickets are going well. I think there's literally only there's less than 25% of the VIP tickets left. They were selling like hotcakes. There are still content creator passes available. You've got until the 13th of this month. If you are a content creator, please do apply. The Gamer Guide, who we partner with, are basically selecting all the different content creators. It means you get to come to the VIP night as well, which we've got the wonderful Jason Bradbury back, because hopefully he's going to be showing us how the new film's coming along and showing us some clips,
nice.
getting your opinion. So that's on the VIP night on the night before. And then obviously we've got the main event with our wonderful guests, such as Slopes doing the quiz that was just like rammed last year. So we think it's going to be just as rammed this year. Which is going to be going to be fantastic. We've got some more guests to announce yet. We didn't even talk about the fact that we've got the whole Tomb Raider panel at the show. We've got the 6 people that worked on the original 6 Tomb Raider games. So we're going to do that because obviously they have done the remasters last year and this year. We were like, let's celebrate the people that actually worked on those games. So they're going to be
a musician coming from that.
I think there is.
Interesting.
Yeah, we've got some art designers, level editors, story writers, even someone who actually didn't voice the original Lara Croft, but did do the voicing when they were started the game and then did bits. So yeah, Heather, who's done some stuff, and she was an artist for it as well. So yeah, got some wonderful people, and that panel is hosted by Daryl Baxter, who wrote the Tomb Raider book as well. So he's our guest presenter for that, and we've still got 2 more panels to announce. Two more panels to announce, and all the other gaming competitions and stuff. So there you go. So get your tickets now. Yeah, you've got 2.5 months, folks. Don't leave it too late. And thank you to everyone who's been supporting it. Admittedly, I will fanboy hard on the VIP mixer when I meet Jason. Do it. That's what it's there for. A lot of our guests will be there. Ash Millman will be there. All the people from the Tomb Raider panel. The What Culture guys are going to be there night before. I'm sure Slopes is going to pop in as well. So if you want to meet them at the VIP night, that's what you can do. You can go and have a chat with them, and it's all a bit more relaxed from when all the chaos starts for the main event. So there you go. So yeah, moving on. Let's move on to our next game. This also came out last Thursday on PC, PS4, and 5, and Xbox Series X and S. And this one, if I can find the video, is called Scarlet Salvation. Here's the trailer for it.
What is this? Hello? Hello?
This is a military facility. That's why I've been dispatched here.
There you go, folks. All I can say about this is like an anime version of Returnal, is what it feels like. Am I right?
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a roguelike. You can see the bullet hell stuff that does definitely remind you of Returnal, but it just doesn't look really anywhere near as good.
Mm.
The action and the graphics in Returnal, fantastic. This clearly hasn't got the budget to match it, but it's a similar sort of sci-fi theme. You character waits up with no memories, and all they've got to help him is like a sort of AI voice in their ear, just sort of guiding them out. I think it looked better in the trailer than it did in the gameplay that I watched earlier. Although it's not really saying a huge amount because the trailer wasn't that inspiring. But when I was watching the gameplay earlier, it looked very samey with the environment you're going through. Same sort of. It's like a corridor, repeated like far too often with, same sort of graphics in each room, similar sort of enemies. Just looked like it get quite boring quite quickly. So I think it's one of those roguelikes. It's probably aiming higher than it can really with its budget. It just doesn't look very good to me. Easy skip.
Yeah. iQuell said this looks like tutorial stage the game. So it looked like it had potential at first, but then went downhill from there. Slopes, your thoughts?
Do you remember that game Piano 3 on the GameCube?
Yes,
the Capcom game. Yeah, it looked like that, but not as good. I'm definitely getting Returnal vibes. I was someone that just didn't vibe with Returnal. I got it. I tried it, and I understood why it was well respected. It just wasn't for me. If that didn't do it for me, this definitely wouldn't do it for me. Sadly, it's definitely trying to bite off more than it can chew. 100%.
Okay. All right, folks. Let's see what the scores are. See, people have got a couple of scores in chat. Dank is hang on, we got further up. Yeah, Dank is going for a 5. Thinks it looks very average. Gozzo's the same. Manic says 7 Metroidvania anime style cool third person shooters out of 10. Boy, that was a mouthful. LeBray says a 6. Dave again 0.5 out of 10. The Couch 6 out of 10. iQuell saying 5.5. Chat, get your scores in if you want to get a shout out if you get it correct. Go on, Dave. I'll start with you again on this one.
I'm going to go for a 5.5.
5.5 from you, Slopes.
5.
Go for a 5. Okay. Any other guesses? Ems, hello Ems, welcome in. Good to see you. Ems is going for a 6. This is Scar-Led Salvation, which came out last Thursday on PC, PS4, 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Flame is also saying a 6, and I can tell you that you probably won't want to bother with this. A 4.5 out of 10 on average.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Yeah. Skip it. Move on. Forget all about it.
Not so good.
Ouch.
Yeah. No, literally no one got that right. So there you go. Manic says 4.5. That's quite rough. And also, why did it not say in the trailer for the consoles? Well, I don't fucking know. It was a shit trailer. So it was one of the worst trailers we probably had. So blame them. Poor game, poor trailer, poor marketing.
So that Piano 3 game, that's one they need to remaster. It looked quite similar, that style, but done better.
Yeah.
I'm actually well up for playing that. Actually, that's what that trailer's made me want to do. Play something different.
Yeah. Also, he says. Also, these scores are all over the place today. Yes. That's all I can say. I agree with you. But that's the randomness of the show. Like I say, we don't review the games. We get the score and it happens. But we've had some weeks that are like this. They're up and down. But we'll see. Moving on to something, again, very different indeed. Have you ever wanted to do the reverse of power washing? Like spray painting? Everyone's saying no, I can tell. Well, now you can. And not in real life. This came out last Thursday on PC, Xbox Series X, S1, PS4 and 5, and Nintendo Switch, and is also on Game Pass. This, you've been waiting for this all your lives, and you just didn't realize it, is Spray Paint Simulator. There you go. That is Spray Paint Simulator. Do we really have to explain what this is? I mean,
Yeah, if you play Power Wash Simulator, it looks like it's exactly the same game, just with paint.
With
not
paint,
water.
yeah. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Right, get your scores in chat. That's all we need to know from that. Slopes, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's what it says on the tin, and I don't know what you want me to say about this. I mean, thankfully, it doesn't look like they've added they haven't shoehorned in a story. When the only positive that I can think of is, thank God, it's not longer than it needs to be. It don't bode too well, I suppose, for my review.
Okay,
6. Let's go
6. Okay, all right, going for a 6. Danker says a 6.5. Gozzo says a 6.5. Couch says 7 because that's my score. Love it. Flame 7.5. Hang on a minute. I had it on a good authority that tartan paint wasn't real. Well, now it can be. It can be a thing. Dave, what say you on this one?
I'm going to try a 7 for this one.
7 for this one. iQuail also saying a 7. Folks, this is your last chance. This is Spray Paint Simulator, which came out last Thursday on PC, Xbox Series X, S1, PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and is also available on Game Pass. And also, as Manic said, is this related to the Power Wash Simulator game? No, completely different studio. But they have, for all those people that couldn't wait, they have announced the sequel to Power Wash Simulator. And it's called Power Wash Simulator 2. Bet you didn't see that coming. So that's going to be something that we're going to talk about in the future. Bet Dave can't wait. Ems saying a 6.5. If there are no more scores, I can tell you that this got 6 out of 10.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yes. Can we give our wonderful guest a shout out? Go check out all his YouTube channels. Go check out his socials. Basically, spam everything. Go give him follows. Give him likes. Drop that in, all those links, please. You wonderful mods.
I feel like the simulator games, like, haven't they had their time now? It was like a joke thing, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Now everything's doing a
they're trying to be funny.
There's loads of another oversaturated genre, isn't it?
Yeah, coffee grinding.
Did you see with Limited Run recently that they're doing a physical version of Potato Sack Racing Simulator? Like, I'm not even joking. I think it's
I was just like, oh, god damn.
Well, actually, it was there, and I've clicked it, and now it's missing. So maybe there's
there's a dispute. I remember that. The game called Chop Chop, where you literally just chop wood. There was Barista Simulator. There's loads. Medieval Tavern Simulator was one that came out last year that we talked about.
Yeah, I feel like it peaked with Goat Simulator, and then they started making sequels to that, and it's like, really, how many more? You know, move on.
Oh dear. You did get your shout outs, but I do want to put that Dave did put this as well. Dave, what are you doing to me? What are you doing? Boo. And he says, oh God, it did it. And it did. There you go. There you go. Crazy Taxi Simulator. Well, you got Crazy Taxi for that, isn't it? So
yeah, and 1,000 other games that try and copy it, and they just can't.
So was that one that last year came out where it was basically Crazy Taxi with the Fifth Element, and it was not good.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was such a shame. I felt so bad saying that was a bad game when the developer personally sent it to me. All like hopeful eyed, and I'm like,
yeah, and then it's kind of like,
mate, I didn't say that to him.
Yeah,
it wasn't good.
Just a little bit underwhelming. Yeah. Sorry, folks, but there you go. Games Guru, good evening. What, another guru? Yes, another guru. There you go. Let's talk about more gaming news. Let's talk about this one. So, I think they changed their mind as much as the wind blows because going back a couple of months ago, we had Microsoft saying, do you know what? We might not release any more consoles. Was the taxi game in Barcelona last year?
There was one of those as well.
Yes.
That's not the one we're talking about, but there was one of those. And I just got back from that holiday. I was like, I walked down that street. And that was the exciting part of that.
Taxi Driving Simulator. I remember that. Yeah, because I played it like 2 days before, hadn't I? That is sitting on my hard drive, and I haven't played it since we did that show.
I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, it's still sitting there.
Space back for some good games.
Yeah, probably for something good. Will, good evening. There you go. How are you? Hope you're well. But there we go. So Microsoft keep changing their minds. We're not going to release consoles anymore, but we're going to focus on a handheld. And then literally, Microsoft put out a statement saying, actually, we're pulling back on the whole development of an Xbox handheld now. But we're going to do more third-party stuff. And one of the big things that's come up is the fact that they are partnering with ASUS. ASUS have brought out some really cool handheld consoles over the years. And Microsoft will basically bring the software to it. And that's kind of what they're going on. So it's not kind of what we were expecting, because everyone was like, oh, they're going to try and do their own version of a PlayStation Portable or whatever, or go up against a Steam Deck. And people are like, well, why are they going to bother? Now they're not. They've kind of done that, and they've announced even more games that are going to come across from Microsoft over to PlayStation, with things like the much well rewarded, but I just thought it was a load of old crap, Senua's Saga 2, Hellblade, or Hellblade 2, whatever you want to call it. Nice looking film is the way I describe that game. So they're concentrating on that. So I'm kind of like, why did they go to all that trouble a couple of months ago to go, right, we're doing a handheld, blah, no more consoles, and then they've just gone, what do we reckon? What's changed, do we reckon?
Well, the one thing I was reading was the resources that they were sort of using the handheld. They're going to sort of put more of the resources to try making Windows a better platform for PC handhelds in general. Because whilst Steam have got Steam OS, which is a really good console-like experience for your PC games on the Steam Deck, trying to use Windows 11 on any of the other PC handhelds, it's a pretty miserable experience when you've only got like an analog sticks to control it. It's not good because it is just Windows. It's not made really to be like a console. I think it's a heavy OS, and it just it could be a lot better. So if Microsoft can do something to that OS to make it more streamlined, a bit lighter weight with the resources it uses, and just generally nicer to use on a handheld device, that'd be cool. Because they're going to have more competition from Steam, because Steam OS is now coming out, just general release for more of these PC handhelds. So you can just uninstall Windows, put Steam OS on, you're going to have a much nicer experience on them. So they've got a bit of competition there they could do with try and knock on their head, because obviously they want to try and stay dominant in the OS market. But we'll have to see what they can actually do with it. Yeah, because that's going to take a bit of time to get it into a good state for those machines, I think. And plus, with all the competition you've got in the handheld market, does anyone really want just an Xbox-based one? I can't really see be that popular, considering how poorly the current consoles are selling. Yeah, it's a handheld already that interesting to many people.
Yeah. I think going to get to the point where they are just going to be like, and we've said this before, they're going to be like Sega, where they're just putting out software and they're not. Yeah,
they feel like they are going that way, definitely.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Slopes?
Yeah, this is my confusion with Microsoft and the Xbox brand and stuff like that. It's what I don't get about it is when I look back over the last 2 generations now, because I didn't even get myself the latest Xbox Series X or S. The newest Xbox I've got is the One X. I hate their branding, by the way. I hate their name. Yeah, it's horrendous. But there's been nothing on those 2 systems that's made me want to like, oh my god, that was such a cool exclusive thing that I played on those systems. There's nothing. And when you start thinking like that, it's like, well, why would I want to get a handheld from these guys? You know what I mean? I know like Steam don't release anywhere near enough games. Like, why have we not got a third of any of their main games? Half-Life 3, Left 4 Dead 3, Portal 3, anything like that would be incredible. It's really weird that they don't do that. I mean, they're not short of money, Steam, but they do have those exclusives on there. And I suppose when you get the Steam Deck, you've got that absurdly cheap store, games for like pennies and stuff always going in there. And it's that same collection you've had since your first ever PC. So that's what they've got going on for them. you know, I look back at my PlayStation, and the PlayStation 5's got Astrobot and all these other games. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Man, these games are so freaking good, and you can only play them here." Xbox just doesn't have it. Yet they've got some of the best studios in the world that they've bought up. And what are they doing with them? You know, everyone cried about what they did with Rare back in the day after buying them off Nintendo. But they did something with, at least with them, in the Xbox 360. I don't think they did the right thing, you know, the stupid Connect Sports titles and stuff. But they're just doing nothing with these companies. Like, how have we got an entire generation with nothing to show?
Yeah.
For me, it's just like, bugger your bloody stupid handheld ideas. Release some bloody games. That's what I want, and I just don't get it. I mean, other than the fact that, you know, the Game Pass is, you know, it's good for the consumer, arguably not good for the developers. I just don't see the point in them. You know, there's never been in the past when I've not had a console that's current generation. There is at least some point when I go along, you know, even when back in the N64 days or whatever else, and I'm like, oh man, you know what? I wish I did have that console because that game looks all right. I'd like to try that game. And it's just not happened. It's not happened with Xbox. And it blows my mind. Blows my mind. Do something.
Yeah. I think the other thing that's worrying now is when they do get a good game now, they're just chucking it onto PlayStation anyway. So, like, out of nowhere, that Indiana Jones game, I was going to say, when they did the showcases last year, that Indiana Jones game got announced. And I was like, I don't think this is going to be much cop. And then it came out in December, and I was like, ended up being in my top 5 games of the year because it was just so well done.
Sure.
But then, like, they've already released it. It got released like over a month and something ago on PlayStation. So it wasn't even like a 4-month, maybe a 3-month exclusive.
Well,
so
remember they had all that marketing, didn't they? Like, this is an
Yeah.
Xbox. This is an Xbox. And they're like, like a microwave or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, this is an Xbox. It's weird to go from that marketing where you don't even need an Xbox. You can play our games on everything to here's a console where you can play our games. It's all right, mate. I can play it on everything, actually. It's all right.
Yeah, so what's the point? I don't get they're trying to do the exclusivity. So I think this is the thing. JL says, I'm excited but nervous for the Xbox showcase on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm in the same way because I honestly don't know what they're going to announce. And I kind of got an inkling of some of it because we're going to expect to see the Gears of War. And so we might even see State of Decay 3 finally. But again, stuff that they just constantly churn out. It's nothing new. It's, you know, not saying they're not going to be good, but a bit worried. Couch says that's what happens when studios are owned by execs who don't understand gamers. Correct. There you go. Anyway, we'll see what happens on Sunday when it all gets announced with stuff. And yeah, interesting. Now let's move on to probably our 2 biggest games of this week. This one, I could have played at TwitchCon because it was like the biggest game there. This game was sponsoring TwitchCon at the weekend. I didn't actually bother to have a go with it. So I just asked a load of people what they thought about it. I just watched them play and then asked them. So I'll give you what they said in a bit. But this is the 3rd, technically, because the DLC was almost like a 2nd game because it was so big. But this is like the 3rd installment, but something a little bit different with Elden Ring, as this came to PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, and PC on Friday. And this is Elden Ring Nightreign. Let's have a look at the trailer for this.
The Nightfarers. The will to cross the endless night and fight on. Till every shred of their being is ground away.
There you go. So, Dave, tell us why this is a little bit different to the other Elden Ring games.
Yeah, well, this is taking, like I say, the core Elden Ring gameplay, but mixing it into a sort of multiplayer roguelike game. It's got, I suppose, some sort of similar to Fortnite in a way, where you're getting dropped off onto like an island. You got a ring that closes in during I think like a 15-minute time frame, and in that sort of time frame, you've got to quickly sort of run round as a team, defeat as many sort of bosses as you can, so that you can level up, and then fight the big sort of boss that comes in at the end of the day. Repeat that for a second day, another sort of 15-minute time frame, and then you'll go and take on one of the big sort of end of day bosses called a Night Lord. There's, I think, sort of 8 of those to fight. Different expeditions you could do. I like the look of it. I played the technical test they did back in February, and it felt good. But it's one of those games. Yeah, it really is made for 3 players. You can go in solo, and I believe they have been tweaking it since launch to make it a bit easier solo-wise. Because initially it was just, unless you were really stupidly skillful at the game, you ain't going to get very far as a solo player. Apparently, duo play is going to come in at some point in the future, they're saying. Really, it's just built as a 3-player co-op game. And depending on how you play, if you're just going on and playing with randoms, you've got no in-game voice chat, so you're just kind of relying on very basic communication tools. It's going to feel a hell of a lot different to play compared to going in as a team with your friends, all on voice comms, all coordinate what you're doing, coordinate your characters, following like a good route through the world to find the best bosses and weapons to sort of collect on your way to the big end of day, end of match bosses. So it's one of those ones. It's going to feel and score differently depending on how you're playing it because of that, because of the way they've sort of set it out. But I still like the look of it. I have got a copy come in later this week, so I'm going to play a bit of it and give it a go. I did like the tech test, but it's definitely the sort of game that is going to be vastly improved by playing with a set of people you can talk to on the headsets. Otherwise, it might be a bit tricky. You might not like it.
This was the thing. So obviously they were sponsoring TwitchCon. They were the big game at TwitchCon. And people generally saying they're enjoying it. And they said it's cool because, they're like 40-minute bursts, 45-minute bursts. You haven't got a long time to spend. You jump on with your friends, go do a campaign, and you can always jump back to it and the stuff carries over. But the biggest ask with this game is, as you said, it's a team-based game that you can't communicate with your team members. So that's an issue. Second issue is this is not cross-platform. So if you're on a PS5 and they're on a PC, you've got no chance of playing this with them, which I find ridiculous. So it's a bit of a big ask.
This day and age,
Yeah, it's a bit of an ask to say, hey, you got to get 3 of your mates who may have the same console or same platform as you, but then you still can't really communicate with them as to what you want to do. So there is a bit of thingy, but generally people's thoughts on when they played it on the show floor, they seem to enjoy it, and it was more Elden Ring goodness for them. But it's nice, the sort of thing you can dip in and dip out on. So, like, your thoughts on this one?
I really don't have a voice. I've literally never played one of these games before. I mean, it looks fine. I there's no point in me giving 2 cents because I just don't know these games at all. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. I've never played any of them either. Dave's our resident expert on these ones. He was in his top 5 games when the first one came out. Obviously the DLC was in your top 5 last year. For me, if I even attempted to play this, I would smash up my PC setup because I probably rage so hard. So I don't want to go anywhere near it. So let's see what scores we've got. Let's have a look what we've got here. So Manic says an 8. JL says an 8. Danker's going 8. Come on, surely, because he hasn't got one right yet. But we'll see. Gozzo an 8. Ryan, good to see you, Ryan. Ryan was at TwitchCon. Good to see you, buddy. We had a drink at the after party on the Sunday night. Dave Johnson says 8.5, but for comedy purposes, 0.5. You keep going. I saw this with my glasses off while wiping off a face mask. Now I have no idea what it's about. So an 8. 8.5 because it's Elden Ring, says Dan from Debug. Danker says because of what I said about the game. Oh, dropping it down to a 7. Flame saying a 7.5. Ryan says the collector's edition has some really cool stuff in it, by the way, if you go check that out. M says 7.5. Kindred says 8. Critics seem to have their willies jammed right at Elden's Ring So I'm going for a 9. Games Guru says a 7.5. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon?
I'm going to try an 8.
Going for an 8. Slopes?
8. I don't know if this is good or not. I'm sure it probably is.
All right, going for an 8. Last chance, folks, in chat. This is Elden Ring Nightreign, which came out on Friday on PS4, 5, Xbox Series, XS and One, and PC. And if there are no more scores, I can tell you that the reviews are quite split on this. There are people like GameSpot who basically gave this a 9 out of 10 straight away. And there's other people that gave it a lot lower scores because they think this is quite a poorer product. It's still a good game, but a poorer product compared to the main game and the DLC. But to be fair, with all the reviews that we got and everything, it's still balanced out at a decent 8 out of 10.
Nice.
So there you go. So both Dave and Slopes got that right. And also Kindred, congratulations. Dank is going to kick himself now for changing his score. Gozzo got it right. JL got it right. Manic got it right. Congratulations. Dank is going to go, no! Dank is literally screaming in chat right now. There's an ARG. You should have stopped. Yeah. So, yeah, Kindred's doing really well. 4.
Yeah.
4 out of 7 tonight. Well done, Kindred. Which is amazing. Got our shout out for our guest tonight. Thank you, iQuail. There is all Slopes' socials. There's the 2 main YouTube channels and the Twitch channel.
Booyah.
Go literally like all of them. Everything in the whole existing world. Do it now. You won't regret it. Trust me. And Kindred says, I couldn't care less about any of these games. True. To be honest, it makes sense with so many people streaming it within the first week and going, yeah, I knew it was a big thing. General talk on the shop floor was it was good. They were playing it on the Saturday and Sunday at the show, and it was generally well received. So there you go. I won't play it at all. So there you go. I like it. That's it. It's a survival roguelike. It's not you. I'm not usually into survival games, but I love the vibes, characters, map crashing. That's cool. I know some people are going to lap this up. So there you go.
Yeah.
Dave, your second one right this evening. How do you want your shout out?
You can do the jump up from behind your chair, mate.
Right. Watch my knees go crack. Okay. Shit, I forgot. I've still got stuff I haven't unpacked behind here, so I'll knock it all over. This is probably going to go horribly wrong. There we go. Right, you ready?
Go for it.
Dave!
Very nice.
There you go. Exclamation Dave in chat. Like that. There you go. Dave shout out. And our final big game of the night, but not the end of the show. Let's have a look at this. Obviously, it comes around every year. It happens. But generally does get good reviews. But this time, this game from Codemasters might have a few extra things up its sleeve because there's a few tie-ins with the new F1 film that they've brought into this. So yes, you can play as Brad Pitt, believe it or not. And every 2 years, the story mode returns, and this apparently is the third and final part of that story. And this is the trailer for that mode, because I'm going to be honest, the main trailer for the main game looks shit. So I'm going to play this. But this is Breaking Point trailer for F1 25, which came out last Friday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And there is something like a 10-hour free trial if you've got EA Play. So check this out.
What are you planning?
I'm just looking out for my family.
Final day of pre-season testing here in Bahrain.
How are we looking? We're looking strong, Callie. We can start to push now, so I want you to put some pressure on the Red Bulls, okay?
Each of you is going to have to step it up.
I really thought he knew what he was doing. Why would he risk so much?
We don't have time to rest on our laurels.
You used to be a maverick, Dev. What happened? Threatening my career. Now why does that feel familiar?
You can't play a butler.
I wasn't. I'm not trying to.
You know, I'd sacrifice so much for Formula One.
Motorsports aren't doing enough here.
What is it?
We don't beat Red Bull by copying them.
And there's contact, and
into the gravel. Cali Mayer makes history.
I think Honor Sport needs a change of direction.
There you go. So F1 25 is out with a ton of modes and a tie-in to the new film, which comes out very soon. And the story mode that only comes out once every 2 years. So Dave, tell us about this. Is this a step up from last year's game, or is it that thing that they're just churning out the same old shit, what EA normally do with some of their other games?
I mean, it's always iteration on any of these earlier games. They can only change so much, can't they? I think they have made some improvements, like the handling model of the cars from last year's ones, to fix some of the issues that fans had with F1 24. Not all of them, from what I was reading, but it's improved certain bits. But yeah, some of the highlights of this one is, as you mentioned, the third part of that breaking point career mode. So you got that story that carries on, which looks all right from what I can tell from the trailers. They've made improvements to the My Team mode, which is more like a management mode. They've made that a little bit deeper, expanded that out, which is really quite good considering that F1 Manager game has kind of like faded into obscurity now. Things are going to get made.
That in, haven't they?
Yeah, and then they've done more with some of the tracks. So I think they've remade 5 of the tracks. They've got new technologies. They can completely scan the tracks and make it more accurate. So they've done that like 5 of the tracks. So bound to see more in F1 26. Going to add more like that, no doubt. And they have got I think the other edition of the game is called the Iconic Edition, that's the one that includes like Brad Pitt's character from F1 and the team from F1. So if you want those, if you want that and like other extras, you've got to pay for it's like an extra pack, the Iconic Edition. But I mean, the game looks all right. It's just F1, another F1 game. A slight iterative improvement over last year's one. Like we'll say the same next year. It'll be the iterative improvement.
Yeah. Slopes.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Like if you like those sort of games, it looks really damn good. But I mean, it's one of those things that like, if it didn't show the little story elements, it's real.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's fully real footage. You put that next to the actual Formula One trailer, like just the racing parts, and it would be hard to, work out the difference. I mean, it looks incredible, but I mean, like it's obviously aimed at one specific group of people that like those sort of games. For those people, I'm very happy for them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I've streamed the last 2. So we did do the story mode when it came out in 23, which was the second part. Then last year we played the My Team mode. I did feel that they have gradually felt like they're actually improving. These seems to be the one sort of game that they do like. Whereas compared to say like Madden got some of the worst scores it got when it came out last year. And then they brought out that college football that was apparently amazing. You're like, well, why do you even bring Madden out? And the same with, FC, because they're not allowed to call it FIFA anymore. That seems to just be going downhill. This is one of the few sports games I actually seem to care about and keep putting stuff in. So fingers crossed. This is a good one. No idea if I will stream this year. I've just got too much to try and cram in for streams and being sent games. So
too many games, aren't there?
Yeah, it's one of them. I just don't know whether I'll ever get round to that, but we'll see. DJ Mike Storm, hello. He says, no idea what game it is. 7 out of 10. Good to see you, buddy. Is there a physical edition of the Brad Pitt version? I'm just wondering what's in the box. Probably his wife's head. Oh, no, sorry, that's a wrong film. Ems, 7.5. Flame, 8. If anyone doesn't get that reference, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Games Guru, 6. Manic, 7. Gozzo, 8. Ryan, 7. Dave, 8. Danker says 8, and I'm sticking. No backsies. Stick with it, go. So get your scores in chat. Let us know what you think. Slipes, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this got?
8, I suppose. Okay. Yeah.
Go for an 8. Dave, what say you?
I was thinking 8 as well. Let's go.
Okay, go for an 8 as well. iQuail says 7.5. DJ Mike says Brad Pitt is in the box. Maybe he is. Kindred, surely if the head in the box, the score should be a 7. See what you did there. But then it says it's an 8. Last chance, folks. This is F1 25, which came out last Friday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And also you can get the free 10-hour free trial on EA Play. Last minute 7. Thank you, Couch. I can tell you for the last game of the day, this probably is certainly worth playing and an improvement on last year's, because this did get an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
So there you go. So
There we go.
a lot of people got that right. Kindred, congratulations for getting that right. Flame, you got it right as well. Congratulations. Gozzo, Danker's just done a message effect. I have no idea if it will show on the screen, but hopefully it will, because I've turned a lot of that stuff off. So I apologize if you've just spent 20 bits on that and you don't see it. Dave Johnson, 8, well done. And obviously Danker, you got it right. It did, actually. It did. It shows on the chat on the thing. It won't show on this chat, but it works. Chaotic, good evening. How are you? Welcome on in the show. There's also someone else who appeared as well. I know it's a Mike, but there's someone else that popped up. But we'll see. Now, again, can we get a shout out for the wonderful Slopes? All his socials, all his channels, everything, the lot. Go follow them all, you wonderful people in chat. You're super late. Sorry, don't worry. You'll catch the last few news stories. And Dave, how would you like your final shout out of the night?
You can do a walk on from the side of the screen, mate.
Should we do the pixelated version of me? Just because obviously
it's the better looking one. Let's go with it.
Right, you ready?
Go for it, mate.
Dave!
Very nice.
There you go. Bob Ross makes an appearance, ladies and gentlemen. It's still life size. Yes, it is. Shots fired. Yes, I know. There you go. Congratulations to everyone who got them right, and well done. A number of you did really well tonight, and some of the guys that do really well some weeks have it's gone the other way. They've not got them right, but that's the way this is the way this game goes. Let's finish up with a couple of news stories. I'm gonna start with the one actually. Slopes has dug out for us this week. So I'm going to pop this up on screen. You can talk us through this, my friend. Let's bring this up on here. I've got some adverts. I should have probably used an ad blocker, but never mind. Let's pop this up. But to celebrate Jet Set Radio's 25th anniversary with stylish new merch, them skates. So you found this news story, didn't you?
Yep. Sorry, sorry, I got a message at the same time. Yes,
that's right.
It's one of those things. So someone sent this to me actually. Jet Set Radio's 25th anniversary, and it's mental. It's taken this long for them to do this. A pair of inline skates that are connected to Jet Set Radio. I do wonder, because about 250 quid each. I suppose, if I don't know how much inline skates would cost, but maybe that's a good price. I don't know. But I do wonder how many people out of if there's 100 people that buy these, I reckon it'd maybe be over 90 that never use them. They're display things only. I mean, I'd love to have a pair just to have on the shelf, but can't spend that money.
Yeah. It's saying the 20th anniversary skate is £274. The boots only is 242.
Yeah,
the boots only with no liner is 219. But you can also get a hat, which is 28.
Yeah, I saw that. A cool t-shirt and stuff.
Yeah, t-shirt's 37 quid. And a sticker pack for 14 quid. So
I thought it was really cool. I mean, I love those games. The thing with the Dreamcast, it was there's so much style in some of those games. I mean, Jet Set Radio isn't the greatest game we've ever made, but that music and the art style and everything about it's just become so legendary. And it's a great brand to attach to obviously a pair of inline skates.
Yeah, that is cool. That was a really cool thing. And then at the bottom basically said, pre-orders available now on the website. Shipping to be expected beginning in August of 2025.
Nice.
Yeah, so go check it out. There you go. Thank you for that. I appreciate that for that news story. Do they glow in the... Oh yeah. Do they glow in the dark?
I don't know.
We'll have to find out.
It's definitely that sort of colour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got that thing.
Like
Someone will definitely see you skating around your bedroom that night. And our final news story of the night. This is for all the Pokemon fans. Ironically, one of our regular viewers, who's a massive Pokemon fan, is not here tonight. But hopefully any Pokemon fans will like this. So, going back to 2022, some of you may remember when we talked about the newest Pokemon game to come to the Nintendo Switch and how badly It did. We are talking about Nintendo's Scarlet and Violet, which got shocking reviews because it played terribly, was terribly buggy, had a lot of patches to try and fix it, and still had poor performance issues and frame rate drops. But going forward to 2025, there's some good news because Nintendo released footage of a brand new version of Scarlet and Violet being played on a Switch 2, which runs at a very smooth 60 frames per second. And the best bit about this is, unlike the two Zelda games and the Kirby game, this is going to be a completely free update. So Ryan said, I really enjoyed Scarlet and Violet, and he's a Pokemon fan. So at least we have got some Pokemon fans. And Ems is here, so Ems says, I'm listening. So if you get your Switch 2, you can basically upgrade this for free. And
is it a free upgrade? That's amazing.
Free upgrade, which I think is really good. So better frame rate, better rendering, improved visuals on the game, and basically it looks so much better. They've done a really, really good job of it from the footage that's out there. But this isn't the only one that they're going to do this for. So there's going to be some other free updates as well, and this includes Super Mario Odyssey is going to get an uplift. Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, and a game that I know Ems is happy, which I streamed last year, which is Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which was the really cool puzzler where you actually get to play Zelda. So that's getting and that's a free uplift and upgrade as well. So I think this is good because this game kind of got the worst rep out of a lot of the Pokemon games because the way it launched and how it didn't really play well on a Switch. And now it's kind of getting a second lease of life to actually be the game that it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't got to pay for it. I think that's pretty cool. Your thoughts, guys, in chat, let me know.
Oh, it's always nice when they throw out the free updates, some of these games. And yeah, from what I've seen of it, this does look better. Because God, on the Switch, it looked like crap, to be quite honest. Yeah. I'm watching my wife playing it, and I always thought it just looked terrible, and it ran terrible.
Yeah.
She put up with it and enjoyed it. It's a fair play, but God, I wouldn't have played it. So, yeah. Nice, they're improving it. But I say it looked like it needed about another year or two in back with the developers, really.
Yeah.
Get into a decent state in the original Switch. So let's see. It'll be interesting to see what the next one looks like that's coming out on Switch 2. Hopefully that look and run well at launch.
That's coming out New Year's Eve, I saw.
No, I thought that was coming out October 16th.
Have they brought it forward?
Oh, that's they brought it forward. I don't recall them announcing a date prior to the.
I'd seen a thing, a release date for New Year's Eve originally, but maybe that was a mistake. But that was, believe it or not, that was on Metacritic. When you looked at Metacritic, it had the December the 31st, 2025.
Probably just a placeholder.
Yeah, probably actually. Yeah, I wonder if they've changed it. But while we're talking about that, Slopes, your thoughts on this, and then I'll read out what chat's saying.
It's decent. If they're free upgrades, I mean that's awesome. It's good because it means that you straight out of the gate you're going to have a whole. I mean, straight away hearing the fact that Odyssey's getting an upgrade, like that makes me want to play Odyssey again on my new Switch. That's really cool. That they could have even done like it's very strange. Nintendo do these things where they charge people for that, like that museum thing that they're doing, which is completely pointless.
Yeah.
But then they do this completely for free when I would be more than willing to pay like £5, maybe £10 for a little upgrade there. £5, I wouldn't even think twice. Yeah, £5 for all my games that I really like a Pikmin 4 upgrade or something. I'd be all over that. But yeah, it was awesome. Good on them.
I think this is good because when I started looking at this, I was like, oh, here we go. Because you've got to pay the £10 for the extra for the Kirby one or the other ones. I was like, here we go. Just like you said with this blooming demo thing, etc. But then, lo and behold, no, free. And they're going to do it with other games. So actually, blimey. Makes it, that was a nice, refreshing change. Jesse, good evening. Good to see you. There you go. And yes, they have changed it. Danka says, no, December the 31st is always the generic placeholder date that they use on Metacritic. So they have changed it, and it is October the 16th, as everyone said, and as Em said. So there you go. So, yeah, they had it listed as New Year's Eve. I thought that was a bit of a weird date for it to come out, but no, placeholder date. So there you go, folks. I know Jesse's only just turned up, but that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show tonight. Thank you so much. Firstly, our amazing guest. Let's get all those links back in the chat. Let's say massive thank you to Slopes. Do go check out his channels and come and see him and go attend the amazing quiz. Do you want to say anything about the quiz or anything?
I mean, I'm going to try and make it a little bit easier this time because I've got a tendency of making them too hard. There's a round, for instance, where I get some third-party controllers, scratch out the Photoshop out like the buttons, and you've got to work out what systems they're for. But I've done it like 6 or 7 times now, and I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel of weird third-party controllers that no one knows.
Okay.
And then at the end, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, no, this controller actually technically never did come out. It was just a concept because it's got that hard to do them now. So I think I'm going to have to try and make it a little bit easier. But they're always good fun, those quizzes. Yeah. And you always have someone in there. Even though they are quite hard, you always have some person in there that just gets so much right.
Yeah.
Some proper hardcore nerd. And I say nerd in the best way possible. They're the most loving way possible. Yeah, so come along. They're really good fun. Really good fun.
iCarl says, make it harder, not easier. Well, I mean, we'll see which way it goes. Depends how many prizes we got to give away, because I think we had 3 main prizes last time. So
yeah.
I don't know what we got yet. I've got to figure that out, but we'll see. If we've got a load of prizes, maybe we'll. If we haven't, then maybe we'll make it harder. So we'll see. Yeah, the N64 controller. No one would get that.
Hey.
Oh, there you go. That's what she said. So yes, we haven't announced official times, but I'm going to say this: Slopes will probably be on stage around about 3 o'clock, which was the same time last year, because that worked really well for everyone.
It worked really well.
We're going to kind of probably go for that.
It was a good ego boost with the kids as well.
Yeah.
Like they were like, "There's a massive queue to get in there. We can't get in." I mean, don't worry, kids. I'll get you in. It was awesome. Yeah,
that's great. We'll do that again. We can do that again for it. No worries.
The actors could line up here.
Yeah. Danker's put some stuff in about Summer Games Fest in the Discord. If you want to go check out, you want to join the Discord, find out what's going on with more stuff with Timeless and other gaming related things. Do go give us a follow. But again, Slopes, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I look forward to seeing you in August, my friend. Can't wait. It's going to be super.
Buzzing.
Yeah. M said enjoyed the quiz at last year's Timeless. Thank you. Ryan says good night. Thank you, Ryan, for being here. As always, my co-host who knows the most, the wonderful Mr. David Jones. Thank you so much. And we will be back with another show next week. As I said, it's going to be a very Nintendo Switch 2 heavy thing, because we're going to be talking about, obviously, Mario Kart World and all the games that have come out. And there's going to be some Summer Game Fest stuff. And our guest is also another guest that's going to be at Timeless, and it is going to be PlayStation. She's known for being on PlayStation Access, What Culture, and the Horror Game Awards. They just had their Horror Game Awards just last weekend. It's going to be Ash Millman, who's just down the road in Wolverhampton. Yay! She is our guest on the show next week. And if you want more streams from me, there is only one other stream this week. Tomorrow night, I am yet again sponsored by the wonderful people of Rebellion. Today, the brand new DLC for Atomfall came out, so I will be playing that on stream. And not only that, courtesy of Rebellion, they have given me 2 copies of the Gold Edition to give away on Xbox Series X and S. That means you get the base game, all the stuff that came in the pre-order, and the DLC that we'll be playing. I've got 2 copies of that to give away, so you'll have to tune in if you want to win a copy of that, courtesy of Rebellion. So that is it for tonight. Thank you to the mods, as always. Thank you to Mr. Dave Johnson for his 0.5. Love the fact he kept that going all the way through the show. Thank you to chat. You've all been amazing. Jesse says, what the fuck is Thomas? I was hoping you know, because you helped me run. Night everyone, let's go see who we can raid. I'll hit this button. We'll do that, and then we will zoom out. Probably should have hit this a bit earlier, but let's see. I get the feeling we could go raid someone that's doing a bit of retro. I wonder if Plunger's on. Pass the Plunger. You watch a bit. He is. There's timing for you. So what is he playing out of his retro catalogue? He is playing. Well, he's actually talking about Gladiators at the moment. But he's going to be playing some games on the Game Boy. And, oh, yeah, okay. He's going to be playing some games on the Game Boy in a bit. But he is talking about Gladiators, the original TV show. So let's go raid past the Plunger. That raid will start once the end credits have rolled. Got to hit that button. I think that's going to hurt. I think that's working. And that's it. And all that leaves for me to say is that wherever you are in the world, have a great morning, great afternoon, or great evening. And I shall see you tomorrow at 8:30 for the brand new DLC for Atomfall. Thank you so much. We're going to do that thing where we just wave awkwardly into the camera before I press the button. Bye.
Yeah.